This is a characteristic
recording now.
that was occurring on some of these coins of the Spanish world at that time, or earlier, from other, slightly later as well. So what it all means, of course, is that it lends legitimacy. John Rottweiler now. So having told you that interesting bit of information, further research would suggest that you should be thinking of 500th anniversary of the discovery of the eastern coast of Australia.
Why can't they find the rocket and the ship?
Because it's about 1.5 miles inland. It was under sand and they burnt it in the 1850s. But it was painted by a bloke called Clark, who painted the whole shell structure of it like a skeleton of it. And this shell structure appears in this painting, but it was used by Aboriginal and other people for firewood. But the shape of it clearly shows it's a caravel, it's a Portuguese caravel. Anyhow, the reason why I'm telling you the story is for a simple fact that, if we're looking at something very special to do that's a bit different, let's think of a 500th anniversary of the secret discovery of Australia. My men there. A book by McIntyre was published sometime around about 1970, because we became aware of it when Jim and I did, when a woman came into Jim's office when he was down in Bent Street, or where it was. No, what street? Connell Street. And she had some coins. Remember those coins? You remember that time? And I looked, she didn't know what they were. They were found in this vicinity of this fort. And these were the earliest coins that you could see from Jamaica and other places that were issued by Isabella and Joan, whoever the rulers were at that time. It sort of suggested something, that's interesting. And it could have been, if they were found there, she said they were on a property that belonged to her son, who owned a property around that area. So, George Coleridge wrote in the 1880s his discovery of Australia. So you can also read it all there. But he doesn't name the people, he just knows it was discovered. I don't think he talks about Mendes. It's been a later discovery who it was that we're talking about.
And what date are you talking about?
1522.
And when's it the 500th anniversary?
Well, when 2022 comes around.
Oh, but you're making this announcement.
Yeah, I'm just saying that people can think about it and do their research.
What brought that on? What day?
Well, because we're talking about 250th anniversary of Cook discovering Australia. They're doing a medal for it, so why not think of the 500th one that's different from everyone else?
You have to read the Peter Trickett book, Beyond Capricorn. That's an up-to-date summary of the whole
things I've just been talking
Peter
about.
Trickett.
Okay.
He's a Canberra journalist, and he wrote a paper, they can get in a paper box still in publication.
Okay.
The whole Portuguese discovery of the east coast of Australia.
All right, well, the evidence is there by various people writing about them, but there's a bit of physical evidence to prove it too.
Of course, they were very disappointed in Australia. No big cities to...
Well, Cook wasn't excited about it either when he came here, he just saw their own.
What happened to the coin?
Their map is amazing.
Colin took over until you got here.
That's all right. Now I can hand over to you now, John. I've just had the introduction. I've done all the bit for you. You can now talk about who our guest speaker is. And
okay.
We've done apologies. We've done all the way up to Macquarie.
But if you want it on YouTube to record the number of the meeting, then that's again.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get a recording.
They came out in 15,
Yeah.
16.
Well, the only other apology that I have is Rudy Talmax. He rang me today and said that he couldn't make it. He had to get back to the country.
Well, we got apologies from Tony Hall, Les Carlisle, Grant and Frank Chevier as well. So they were late apologies as well.
Okay, so that was that.
You signed the book, Sandy?
Okay, did Colin mention that our next meeting is at Philas House,
Yes.
8 p.m?
Yeah, bring a plate. It's all
December
done.
meeting. It's our display contest. So please, everybody, try and bring something along and
Win the prize.
give the competition a bit of a run.
You could write Chanel in as an apology because she's studying for an exam.
Did the Andrex pub been mentioned?
Yeah. It's all done, sir.
All done.
Well, it's all done. All we have to do is pass over to Jim.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if there's no other general business, we'll hand over to our guest speaker, Jim Noble, who's going to tell us about the upcoming auction and show us a few of the items that he'd love to.
Would you like the catalogue, John?
Yes, thanks.
Good.
That he'd love us to purchase. Thanks.
Thank you, George. Well, here we go. were threatened by fires. And it's meant that fewer people could come, and I wonder if people won't be able to come to the viewing, which starts on Wednesday. And you can view all through the weekend if you want to come. I encourage you to come on the viewing days because they tend to be quiet, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some people have a good excuse to have to come in earlier. But it's a good time to view during the week, and but we will be here on the weekend. It pays to view. You can see the thing in your own eyes, and you know, you can decide whether you like it or not. What we've got is a catalogue that's come out, and most of you have got it. Did you have one, John?
Not yet, no.
Well, I'll pass it down to you. I've got a few here. Normally I give out quite a few at a meeting, but we've got most members here have already got it. We're going to go through the sale and catalogue order, which makes sense, I guess. The sale's on next week, on Tuesday, the 18th, starting at 9:30 a.m. Goes for 3 days and nights, finishing pretty late on Thursday night with banknotes. So the Australians all on the first day, the world coins or stamps start the second day in the morning at 9:30. So all you stamp buffs have to get up early again. And then 11:30 onwards we've got world coins, including gold and silver, and then world medals. And then we've got British coins in the 4:30 and 7:30 session. Now, the best British coins, including Mark Friel's British Hammered, come up in the night session, and that's at 7:30, which in London means somebody gets up early, has breakfast, they can start bidding if they want it at 8:30 in the morning, the London time. So that's what I'm hoping for. There is a dealer coming out from England. He's just emailed me today to say he's coming. He's probably carrying everyone's bids, and they're probably going to have a second auction back in London. That's what always worries an auctioneer. But you've got to trust people. There's enough online bidding and live online bidding. People around the world. I've got a few people who want to be on the phone. So I'm going to be a busy boy over the next 2 weeks. So without any further ado, I'll show you the first lot I picked out, which was a medal I picked out so that Les Carlisle could see it. Unfortunately, Les is unable to be here tonight. He's been evacuated from his war veterans place up in North Narrabeen, so he couldn't come. Precautions regarding this catastrophic fire that's predicted, encouraging all the firebugs to light fires.
That's right.
This medal here is an 1859 silver medal by J.T. Sleep of Lydiard Street in Ballarat. He hasn't signed it, but we know he did it. And it's got a wheat sheaf and a plough. And this was the first exhibition they did of the Agricultural Society of Ballarat. A very nice silver medal. It was consigned by a private collector from Western Australia. And I'd not seen it before. Beautifully engraved. And it's estimated at $500. It's well worth a look. Well, Les is no longer collecting, but he's very interested still in these things to see them. And I'm sure a couple of museums might be interested. There are a scattering of other agricultural medals, but I thought I'd just show that one. The lot number's 561. Yeah, sorry, I keep thinking that you can see the lot number, but you see the coin all right. The next coin I'm going to show, because that came on, you go through decimal, miscellaneous Australian coins and decimal, mint and proof coins, and then just go to the third session of 230, and that's when we start with the medals. And we go through those. There is an interesting historical medal that I put a little ad on radio to say there's AFL legends. Well, there is an AFL legend here. There's a bravery award to a man called Bill Proudfoot, who was an AFL and Collingwood Football Club legend, they call it. So, John's catalogue, there's some paperwork for it, which I don't know whether Rodney really wants to show that. And in the catalogue there's a photo of him setting up the ball. That's the case for the medal, and here's the medal. It's a Royal Humane Society of Australasia bronze medal. And this lot's estimated at $3,000, and there's quite a big write-up, a full page almost devoted to this in the catalogue. So if you like collecting sporting medals, AFL is the most popular of all sports in Australia, I'm sure, as far as Victorians are concerned anyway. So, you know, that's I won't go into reading it all out because we'll be here all night, but study it in your catalogue. A great opportunity to get a combination of a bravery medal with a sporting hero. There are a couple others in the sale. There's one, Norm Proven's uncle. There's a medal, shooting medal or something. This is, after the medals, we go to Australian gold coins, and then the fourth session at 4:30 starts off with New Guinea, and for the first time ever I haven't got any German New Guinea coins in there. So you guys are slack, you should provide these things for me. So no German New Guinea coins, and Gerhard was looking, look, there's none there. He was looking to see what we had. Oh no, that Paul Vickerton it was who said that. He always tries to buy one in our sale. He's been viewing today, he's up from Victoria to view for 3 days. This is the lot 816, a nice Waitangi crown that came in from the J.L. Miller collection. He was written up in one of our auctions last year, and this is an extra coin from that collection. Nice Waitangi crown, estimated at 5,000. Then this is New Zealand tokens, Australian tokens, and then we go into Australian Commonwealth, second quality, includes a lot of silver and copper. And then we go to the night session proclamation. I thought I'd show you from a collector who's passed on and his widow's put in some of his proclamation gold coins and world gold coins. This is a Joanna of John V. 1732. Yeah. So there's several of the half Joannas, there's a couple of the Joannas, and there's spade guineas, and there's cartwheels, and then we go on to Indian gold and a Mexican gold 8 escudos, and a Portuguese 4 escudos, and then, you know, some other, and a Spanish 4 escudos. So a nice little selection. Then we go into holy dollars and dumps. Now I got at the very last minute a beautiful holy dollar that belonged to the greatest coin collector who ever lived in terms of what he gathered together, Virgil Brand, the Chicago beer baron who just collected prodigiously from the late 19th century through to the late 20s, early 30s. And this holy dollar was originally auctioned in London at Sotheby's in 1901, part of the W.J. Davis collection. It then went to a man called Peck, who had it in 1920 at Sotheby's. Then it went to Brand, probably via Spinks. And Belinda Downey catalogued the countermarks as nearly uncirculated. So it's a lovely coin. It was promised to me by John Ford, who was the owner from the Brand collection, in 1954, but he couldn't find it. So I didn't get it early enough, so I had to buy it with Bill Shear at an auction at Stack's in 2004, and Bill was sitting next to Colin, and Colin recorded the underbidders and that sort of thing, and we had a look at the catalogue and found out that, you know, we outbid Downey's and via Ponterio and Fenton via someone else who was bidding for him. How much?
Well, it was estimated 12,000 in 2004, and it sold for 82,000. Now it's estimated 225. I said to the owner, look, 170, 180 would be more realistic, but I'll try and work on him to get them down. But he paid 250,000 for it in 2015. And where do you get these? I mean, they're not growing on trees. I mean, there's very few good holy dollars available. So it's a great opportunity if you've got a spare $250,000 and you're not getting very little money on at the bank. And I know that a lot of you have got money that you won't even talk about. You hide from me. So the dump that he bought with the dollar is one of the sharpest ones I've seen. It's an A1, very clear. It's got a little spot on the reverse And when I studied it, I realised it's got a very old file mark on the rim, but it's a crisp, good, extremely fine, really sharp. He paid 90,000 for it. I wanted to put 35 on it, but he's made me put 50 on it. But he's a nice man because he sent it to me overnight from Queensland. I said, if you get it to me by tomorrow, I can get it in the magazine and advertise it. That's what you want. Now, there's a story behind all these auction lots. So that helped us with the auction. Another man I said, look, you should really think about selling that dump now. He said, yeah. I said, I'm thinking of it. He said, he had this in his super. He bought it from the Rare Coin Company for 205,000. It's a beautiful, well-scented A1 dump. It's so well struck you can hardly see the undertype, which makes it very attractive to the eye. But it's not as sharp as the other one in terms of it's got slight friction, high points, but I've estimated 35,000. It's got to be a good buy at that. These quality dumps are very few and far between. There's probably only a few dozen in existence, including museums. Over at the Dixon collection, most of the dumps are pretty rotten, they're pretty wrecked. There's a few good ones, but out of the 100 and something they've got, there's probably a dozen really good ones. And then we've got a D2 dump, and this one was from the John Wilson collection in 2008, sale 87, and it was bought by Belinda Downey, that sale for 56,000. It's changed hands a few times, well, once or twice since then. The chap who owns it paid over 100,000 for it. Anyway, I've got it in at 25,000. You might say, coins, where are they going? They're going backwards. Well, this is a result of all that superannuation business and the dealers pushing prices up, guaranteeing to buy back, and the market couldn't sustain it. And now these coins might be available at the lowest price you'll ever get them. I can't see them getting cheaper. If they don't reach a price, they just go back to the owners. So what a chance for you New South Wales Welshmen to get a good New South Wales coin. Australia's first coin. How many, hands up those who are thinking of going for it. Well, you miserable lot. Goodness me.
We wish. Yeah.
Why do we persist? Why do we try? You can lead a horse to the drink, but this is an Adelaide pound owned by a private person. It's estimated at 8,000, graded as very fine. Die 2. Adelaide pounds are rare, but we happen to have 9 in a row in this session. The other 8 are all very similar in condition, nearly very fine, but got a bit of black spots on them in that. But now's an opportunity to buy Adelaide pounds. You could go into a marketing exercise, Ross. Get your mate Ken to buy more. So, Adelaide pounds, we know that they're an important first Australian gold coin. So you can see they're a steady price, $8,000, and they're in that grade. A man came in the other day to check up on this sovereign. I hadn't seen it before because I didn't catalogue it. Melbourne office catalogued it, and this collection that had the Joanna, and I thought, well, that's not a bad good find. I said, that might be nearly very fine. And the price, $1,500, you've got to go for that. It's quite a good value piece. I think Ross could even bid on that.
Sure it's not mine.
No. Did you have one that good, did you?
Well, you've still got one in the safe.
Oh, the one you have a big reserve on?
Bank check,
The one you won't accept the reality on?
That's right.
I'd grade that as
You said
VF.
you deal with my executive.
Yeah, I'll have to. It's easier that way.
It's graded as good fine. I said,
Yeah, good find. What do you think?
I would have graded it as a VF.
Well, it's graded by Gerhard, and he's very, very conservative. So you should look at the coins in our auction, always. You never know when a nice piece is going to pop up.
A bit of hair's a bit flat, but everything else is really nice.
Yeah. So there you are. You'd like that date in the condition of this next one I'm going to show you. The second type, 1868, lot 1152. really well struck. I'm not showing you a lot of Australian gold. We don't have a major collection in there this time, but we have some good ones. But you've seen them time and time again. I'm trying to show you some new things that you haven't seen. You like the condition of that one?
Yes, very nice.
The estimate on that's 1,200.
Oh, that's good.
You know, you should be buying all this, Steve. Everything I show you should be buying. People are looking at us, they're fascinated that we're having a session in here.
It's a wonder they don't stand outside and look at the pictures too.
This is an 1856 half sovereign. We've got one, the previous lot estimated 12,000, but this one being estimated at 7, I thought it was better value for you to bid on. Nice condition, it's graded as good, extremely fine. Even though I don't have rare date Australian sovereigns at expense price, this auction totals in value $4 million when you add the buyer's print. Following on our $5 million sale last time, I'm keeping up the average, but I don't know what I'll be able to do for the first sale next year. This is a proof 1924 Halfpenny. It was sold to the guy by Greg McDonald, and it's got his old price there of 55,000, and we've got it in at 7,500. It is quite a good specimen for a 24 proof halfpenny. They're quite hard to get with a bit of brilliance. Underneath the toning there's a little bit of brilliance. In 1924 the Melbourne Mint struck each denomination, the 4 silver and the 2 bronze, as specimens. Very limited roofs. A few years ago Lawson's accidentally sold them in about 3 separate lots. They didn't know what they had. A couple of lucky punters got them, not me. And, this Melbourne Centenary Florin I thought I'd show you. I know you've seen plenty, but I've never seen one before with this particular box, which we've illustrated in the catalogue, lot 1259. There's a little blue card box and a letter from T.S. Nettleford, printed, so it's a presentation piece. So these coins were very expensive to buy, so it's actually a contemporary letter on their form to Mr. J. Lynch in Collins Street, Melbourne. I'm sending you herewith one of the centenary florins, which have now been withdrawn from circulation. This was dated the 12th of July 1935. The florin will remind you, I hope, of a very happy period of our existence, spelled A-N-C-E. And although I cannot express the hope that you will be present at the next centenary celebrations, I can still trust that you will be with us for many years and that you will enjoy good health and reasonable prosperity. Undoubtedly, the generations that follow us will place a great deal of value on this florin. Oh, that's a cute letter, isn't it? Signed T.S. Nettleford. They were at Beaufort House at 55 William Street.
Has it got a date on it all?
Yeah, the 12th of July 1935.
Yeah, has the rider got a nipple? The rider's nipple there?
Ah, on the florin you'd have to look.
There's no nipple.
No nipple?
This is a florin that obviously...
And the other side is pretty grubby actually.
toned, is it?
But not only toned, it's just
See, the box is a
It looked maybe...
specially made little card box with a inset, felt inset, so it's actually properly
Yeah.
presented. They would have gone to a bit of expense to produce that. Maybe someone
Yeah.
supplied them for a commercial release. Because the coins weren't popular, you had to pay 3 shillings for them. That's why they weren't popular. And they didn't get rid of them all. Always been a valuable coin, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So
always in demand.
it's not a bad specimen, that.
No, that side's good. The other
Yeah.
side's rather poor.
Well, it's sat on the felt. It's sat on the
Yeah.
the velvet. That's what's happened. And I put this back. There was another presentation box I think I remember we auctioned years ago. I'd be interested to talk to Gerhard and see if he's ever seen one of those before. I'll just put that back there. Now the next coin is a 1942 Indian Bombay mint penny. And why is he showing us that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the man who owns it, his father collected coins, and he was putting a lot of pennies aside in envelopes dated with the date. And he was actually putting these away when they were arriving and minted. So this is a fresh coin. He's got a few 1942s. And I thought, oh, this is some nice condition stuff of George VI. I wonder if he's got a 46. Sure enough, he had a couple of 46s. But there's a few 42s, which I found a much scarcer date than 43 in uncirculated. Just showing the condition. Bombay mint coin, brand new. It's hard to keep these things in top condition. I mean, these coins are affordable. This one's estimated at $250 because of the high quality of it. Then there's another one at 200 and another one at 100 with a finger mark on it, which is quite brilliant. And then another one at 100 and another one at 100. And then there's one with the eye mint mark missing, but it's only good very fine. I've never seen an uncirculated one with the eye missing. Anyway, that's that one now. This is the best of the two 46s. It's lot 1350. And it's estimated at 1,000. Now, it's a very significant year, 1946, because the war was over and it's the year I was born. And when I had my paper run on that, I never twigged that I should have been putting these 46 pennies away. Well, they used to be 3 bob each. It was a bit expensive. So 46 penny. I did have once a really golden red one that the treasurer of this society had many decades ago. Miss Matheson, she had BU 46 pennies she must have got from someone. You had to put them away at the time. As you know, I've been handling a few 52 pennies from Heidi's estate, and he got onto a swag of them. And that ends the Australian coin saga. I didn't show you 30 penny. There's all these beautiful stamps, but you guys are not going to see stamps tonight. Concentrating on coins. Now, there's world gold coins that are illustrated, but here's a spectacular coin that came in very late. It's pretty tiny and not very pretty, but it's a coin of the Kushan King Kanishka of India, and it's a quarter stater, so it's very tiny, but we've got an enlargement in the catalogue. And what it depicts on the reverse is a human representation of Buddha. And this is the first time Buddha was ever represented in human form. Then they made, as you know, later the Buddha statues and everything. That this is very significant to those who follow this belief, and usually creates a lot of interest. And the legend on the reverse shows B-O-D-D-O, which is the way the letters are shaped like delta. But there's only about 5 or 6 known. We put an estimate of 1,000 on it, but the last one that was sold for about 50,000 in only fair condition.
So a man wants to be on the phone to me, and I know he can afford it. So I'll take the call. There'll probably be others. So that was exciting to get in, brought in over the counter. 1747 is a EIC Queen Victoria mower. I like to show this because it's such a pretty design with the line in front of a palm tree on the reverse. The estimate on this one is $2,000.
Very nice though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, our member Roy von Bock, I haven't heard if he's passed away, he's still going I think. The nursing home.
I think he's in a nursing home now because we don't hear from him.
Probably 100 by now almost.
He only collected gold.
He collected these. He collected these mowers.
Right.
So if you're talking to him, Rod, tell him we've got one.
No, I haven't spoken to him in years.
No, I know, he's in a... Yeah. This is a Naples and Sicily 6 ducats. He'd be the oldest member of the society if he's still truly alive. He was in the society very early on. I just put that in because I thought it was a pretty little coin, $650. Something different, 1850. Sort of predates the unification of Italy. Ferdinand II is the ruler. I've got someone who wants to buy this next coin, and if I don't get it from him, he'll shoot me. It's because he had one before and he wants it. He keeps rebuilding his collection. This is what he calls the ship shilling from Holland, 1730, 6 stivers in gold. They call it a ship shilling. It's only estimated at 750, so it's not bad. Collins catalogue, that is a yes.
There's Mr. Veltmeyer. You should get this one for your collection.
And because I was in Utrecht 2 years ago, stayed there, I thought I'll show you this Utrecht province 14 gulden. A gold 14 gulden of 1763. Shows the knight on his horse. They're sort of pretty little coins, aren't they?
Yeah.
I can't imagine they circulated much. People would have liked to put them away. You imagine, wouldn't you?
That'd be a proclamation coin, wouldn't it?
You could say that, but really King's proclamation specified coins, and some people put any coin from the 18th century in. I mean, it would have been accepted, yeah, definitely.
Probably goes with our medals though, because we have proclamation era coins.
Yes. I've got to keep an eye on the time. I'm taking a long time, haven't I? But Rodney, you're doing a fantastic job. He's not only showing you the coins, both sides, he's also writing the lot numbers down. It's incredible. This is lot 1790. You think that's easy to do? Come up and try it. Usually males can only do one thing at a time. He's an exception.
It's also breathing.
Yes, he's breathing, Morris, you're right. So that's a Portuguese gold coin of John VI for 1822. They listed in Krauss as 6,400 rees or pekka. So for some reason in Portugal proper they're called pekkas. They're called 6,400 rees in South America. It was all a relative standard of exchange they had, but not a bad coin. Only 30,000 was struck, is the footnote in the catalogue. The estimate is $1,000.
Just kudos, yeah.
Now there is coming up the largest gold coin we've had in a long time. It's not actually a coin, but it's in the coin section under South Africa. It's the Majuba Pond, or 1 troy pound of gold.
Now, Rodney, you have to be careful with that. It really is a big one. It weighs 13 odd ounces of pure
Where's
gold.
Pat? This is sort of stuff you collect, isn't it?
What a magnificent piece. The gold content in it is about 28,000.
I think you're not going to get it, Pat.
This one is a limited edition of 100, which means that's how many they restricted the mintage to. But this chap happened to have coin number 1. And I reckon it could have been maybe the only one made. Number 1. Certificate of authenticity. How many people could afford it in 1981? Fortune. But what a lovely thing, eh?
Yeah.
It's just a legend on the other side.
Right.
But there is a write-up in the catalogue about what a significant victory it was for the... well, I better be careful here. It was the last most decisive battle of the First Anglo-Boer War and resulted in a victory for the Boers, and arguably was one of the most humiliating defeats for the British forces. So I won't be getting any bits from London for that one, I think.
Lots of South Africans living there. You know, they just won the football.
What a thing to come in across the counter though, eh? And we talked him into going to auction. I was contemplating buying it. I thought, oh, God, what am I going to do? It's never a dull moment here. You never know what's going to happen. Something different happens every day. It's just what keeps me going.
Jim, when you showed that container of Florence,
Yep.
and you said it came out of a little box, but the felt on the box had toned the silver coin. What would have happened? What happens to the gold coin?
Well, that's pretty inert from toning. You know, the gold's very, very good. You can get some chemical reaction, but that's, I think that one's made in 916 gold, 22 karat gold, I think. It won't be a problem, shouldn't be. But the florin, yeah, it probably sat in the box for so long, picked up that toning. I got a few reasonable Russian rubles, one of each ruler, and I'm pretty happy to see that we also got in that lot a ruble of Ivan III, 1741. That's one of the toughest ones to get, you know, for a ruler. The others are generally around the $400, $500 mark, but this one's 3,000. It's quite a nice example. Bless you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's a scarce piece.
Double-headed eagle.
I mean, they have brought higher prices in the past, but we don't know where the Russian market is. Our friend who used to fly in from Moscow to our sales, he actually was piloting a plane recently in Russia about 9 months ago, and he had the pilot beside him and a rich oligarch, and unfortunately hit wires and it crashed, and the three of them were killed. So he won't be here anymore. The man who used to come in with the bald head and the Hawaiian shirt was always on the airplane. Konstantin Bukovsky is dead. So things happen. You don't expect. So I don't know where the Russian coin market is now. This half crown came in as the start of the British Mill in the 9th session, and it's a lovely mint condition, William III half crown. Now the coins from this guy were the same one as the pennies of 1942, and they collected the type set of half crowns, and this is the nicest condition one. Full mint bloom. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
1698.
So I put a pretty high figure on that, 1500, because I don't know how you'd get a better one. It's well struck and it's full mint bloom. Incredible.
What's the lot number?
That was lot 3...
2338.
2338, yeah. Sometimes I like to get named
names on collection, but I wasn't allowed to put the name on that guy's collection, but it's an old-time name amongst collectors. This lot here is part of a small Scottish collection from a man in Victoria called J.C. Black, and he possibly bought this one from the Dundee collection, a famous collection of Scottish coins. This is a John Balliol penny. John Balliol succeeded Robert the Bruce when they were... Sandy, you looking for something?
Yes.
Okay. That's the nice condition coin, type coin, estimate 400. From the same collection, he's bought this from Seabees, I can see their ticket there. There's a very nice 40 shilling piece. They had funny denominations, the Scots. They went sort of more or less multiples of what the British was. This is a 40 shillings of 1691. I think they want to go back to being on their own, the Scottish. I think things are changing. But we all await with anticipation about Brexit, don't we? The British election.
Scots want to go on the euro, don't they?
A bit of news for you which you wouldn't pick up normally is that Anthony Spink, who just turned 80 this year, was the last family member of Spink and Son, founded 1666. He passed away Saturday the 2nd of November, and his funeral is going to be shortly, I think. So, very sad. I knew him quite well. There's a report about him in the Spink Insider magazine. He had quite a few interesting customers, including King Constantine of Greece and Narcissus, and he had Sting and Mick Jagger and all these sort of people coming in. And one day he went into the Octagon centre part of the old King Street, and there were 5 heads of state there in the one room. So he had a lot of interesting experiences.
Is Spink still owned by Christie's?
No, it's owned by a man called Olivia Stocker, who owns a designer business, and they're very auction orientated now, and they've moved. It's changed a lot, but the old firm was regarded as the top auction, prestigious auction or art firm in the world. You know, there was Agatha Christie shopped there. She went in regularly, and Ian Fleming wrote the Bond stories and that. I learned all this for the first time. I don't remember Anthony ever telling me that. I stayed with him with my first wife Maxine once before we had children in the 70s in Oxfordshire. And I remember he had a son called Julian, and I read that in the article. That coin I just showed you then was a proof 46 shillings of Ireland, and that belongs to a man who's still alive, John Jackson. And some of you would remember John Jackson. He used to go to the coin fairs, had quite a deep, loud voice. He's an economist. He collected Irish. We sold it in sale. He started again. So he bought this. I think I owned this once. It's very patchy toning, but it's brilliant proof. So he's still alive, and we've got his Irish coins and stamps. And the boys from Stuart Wright's business, on the weekend we're looking at the Irish stamps. They said it's the best Irish collection we've seen. Not that it means a lot in Australia to see, but it's interesting that he had such a good collection. He's still alive, and he lives there in Earlwood with his wife. Colin had the pleasure of bringing it in 3 carloads, loose, all the albums loose. We had to put them in boxes and that. We've only catalogued half the stamps. Stamps are bulky things, they're annoying. Don't know what I'm going to do when Colin goes. I'll be just describing them very roughly. Well, just stay alive if you want to see a good job on stamp.
Yeah. Colin's just not allowed to go.
Oh, yes, I'll get on to cataloguing stamps shortly. Practicing.
So we start that night session with these beautiful hammered gold coins. That was a noble, not owned by Martriel, but brought in by a lady who had it, and I quite like it. It's 2626. It was Edward III treaty period. It's estimated 6,000. I better speed up, eh? 2629 is a Henry VI noble, which was Mark's coin, struck in Calais rather than London. As you know, we were involved with the French. We owned a bit of France at that time. And this came from Spinkinson, London, from the Le Riviere collection. Lucien Le Riviere lived in Rhode Island. He was a very good collector. I once had to buy a medal for John Ford against Le Riviere. They both wanted to be on the phone at the same time, and both wanted to give me unlimited bids. It was on the John Jacob Astor medal, which I let Ford have because I let him have that, he let me have the Charlotte medal, which he shouldn't have had in the first place, but you know, he was very aggressive Yank, smoking cigars, New York. Stories behind these things. That's quite a nice piece. Mark really enjoyed looking at coins with good eye appeal and no problems. And he picked up a few quite nice hammered gold coins. This is 2630, which is the Ryle of Edward IV. They call them a Ryle because they were still like a noble. They changed the values of them at times, but this was at a rose on it. The earliest ones were called rose nobles. It got adopted as the name Ryle. And the difference is it has a rose on the side of the ship, all to do with the Yorkists and whatever they were fighting these people. David Mee knows all about that. I should do more reading, but I haven't got time. I have to talk to people every day on the phone at the counter. Yorkists, what do they call them? The War of the Roses?
Yeah. York and Lancaster.
Yeah, York and Lancaster. I was trying to think of Lancaster.
Yeah, the red and the whites.
See, these boys have got knowledge. You thought they were just pretty faces. Yeah, right. Yeah. David's got a fountain of knowledge on medieval coins because he's passionate about them. It's what it's all about. Learning. This is an Edward VI, the Boy King.
It's nice.
It's so well struck for one of those.
It's Mark's?
Yes, it's Mark's.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, he bought that in sale 67. Estimate's 5,000. He paid 6.5. It should go for more than 5. I like to put conservative estimates on if I can, if I can get away with it, because it creates excitement, doesn't it? This is his piece de resistance, the fine sovereign of Elizabeth I, 30 shillings, 23 carat gold, a special pure gold coinage they issued. I can't imagine many people having those to spend in the shop. Lovely big ornate piece, isn't it? Complicated design, but what Mark liked about it was the portrait of the Queen's face, the eyes and the nose and mouth are all there properly. So he used to look at the other ones I'd get, and as David said, his was better. So it's on the front cover of the catalogue.
Little coins are always nicer there, aren't they?
At this rate, we'll be here till 9:30 doing this.
We'll have to have coffee earlier.
Yeah, I'll speed up, but this is an angel of Elizabeth. I tried to pick only a few coins out. That's 2634. Comes straight after the fine sovereign. And that's estimated 3,500. It's out of our sale 53. It was previously from a Spink London sale. I like English coins, but I don't see as many of them as I used to in the old days, when our dollar was strong and I was part of Spinks. Used to get some great coins. You should have seen the 5 guineas and things I had back in 1980. This is a £1/2 of Elizabeth, so that's a 10 shilling piece. The pound was 20 shillings. Mark bought this one from our sale 53 and it came from BACB with their ticket. Very nice example. People at the moment are bidding online on these things with cheeky low bids. I don't even bother to look till they get serious. But it is an auction, they have to be sold. This is lot 2641, which is a Unite of Oxford Mint of Charles I, 1643. And it's nice because it looks just like the big triple Unites, or £3 pieces. This is the
20
Unite.
shillings.
Yeah, it's $10,000, this one. He bought this from sale 63. Each purchase must have hurt Mark. He must have, oh, come on. Sometimes he was confident about spending the money, other times not.
You think it's been bent there at one stage, Jim?
They're really awkwardly struck sometimes.
Yeah, just above the one in this 1643, there's sort of a
There's something
line,
there.
yeah.
There's some sort of line there. It could have been bent and straightened, and I didn't say that. Well, I didn't catalogue it, did I? No.
Still very nice.
Yeah, well, Colin,
Very nice.
it's very hard. You've got to spend time on coins.
Yeah.
When you're cataloguing, you don't have time generally. I think we had 2 or 3 days to do this. Hammered stuff. This is a very nice Unite of the Commonwealth. Now that coin comes, it's marked a coin, but it comes, no sorry, it's Neil Archer's coin. Now that's a man who I knew who was a accountant with the bank, Commonwealth Bank up in Murgon in Queensland, and Ron Gregg befriended him and advised him, and he bought this coin through Ron Gregg, who got it from the Bridgewater house sale. And it's a perfectly struck Commonwealth Unite. The estimate's 10,000 because it's so well struck. But at the time Ron Gregg bought it was only about $1,450. But that was back in 1972, the Bridgewater house sale. I remember when the catalogue arrived, I was that excited. I didn't have any money, of course. Same old story. Gets us all. So Neil Archer loved Cromwell coins. When his sister wrote to me, I didn't know the name of the sister, but she described the coins she had, the categories. I said, that's his stuff. So I got him on the phone and talked to them, and they were so thrilled that they'd discovered me and thought I was long dead. I said, no, I'm only 73. So he died in 1995. He was a relatively young man, 61 or something. But this is a Cromwell Broad. They were struck like proofs, you know, beautiful coins. It's got a couple of hairlines, but it's a lovely coin. And that came, Neil got that from Seabees in August 1974. So the next coin Neil got from Spinks, and Douglas Liddell said he bought it from a client in 1967, and I'll bet that client was Captain Vivian Hewitt, who had the best gold coin collection in Britain. He used to go and buy, he once went in and bought Seabees out, all their gold coins, one day. Went in a raincoat, long way, just in the late 40s, and bought every coin, gold coin they had. There's some eccentric. This is a half broad. It's created out of the original tools for a sixpence by Thomas Simon, but it's struck by John Tanner in 1738 at the Royal Mint. It's in FDC condition. There's only probably 4 or 5 of them around, and this is the first time, well, this is the only one that's ever been in Australia.
So I've got an estimated 12 and a half, but Robert kind of said, oh, I'm kidding, aren't you? It's worth 50 or 60,000. I said, well, you can buy it.
Yeah.
He said, what an auction, what a business. He's pretty excited about that one, he was. This is a George III sovereign, 1817. Again from Neil Archer's collection. It was bought from Ray Jewell at Spink, Australia, sale 1986, July 86. We've got 1,500 on it, it should bring a lot more than that. Lot number 2651. This William IV sovereign of 1832 is lot 2662. It's estimated 1,500 as well, and it was from the Spink Numismatic Circular in 1986. I can remember in the old days seeing coins like this at Spinks on their trays, wanting to buy one, uncirculated George III and George IV sovereigns. They've all scattered the far corners of the globe now, all these coins, they're spread out.
All you need is money, Jim.
Well, you know, I've got people, I know people who've got billions, you know, then I have to sneeze a bit of their spare change and it'll be enough for me. Can't get them to do it. This is a proof sovereign of William IV, and there were two busts of William IV sovereigns, and this is the second bust, and apparently they struck all the proofs from the second bust. But what's interesting about this proof is on the reverse, the hairline die break at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, which is incredible that you'd have a die break on a proof. But see, the die was being used and it was getting brittle and they put a lot of pressure on it, it started to crack.
Yeah, you can just see it there at 10 o'clock.
Unusual. This is estimated 7,000.
Oh yeah, it goes right the way through actually.
Yeah, it was bought.
Going from 10 all the way through to
So
4.
you can see it very well there. I'll have a look at what you got there.
It goes through the 6th of, or 4 of 1856.
Yeah. Very interesting. Now this, also from Neil Archer's collection, is lot 2721, which is a Scottish James VI gold udite, which apparently he bought from us in July 1993, but it wasn't in auction. I couldn't find it in auction. So it must have been a spare coin I had. I can't remember it that well. It's estimated 3,000. Yes, okay. Be an angry tenant or a wife. Two 2748 is an Anglo-Saxon coin I thought I'd show. It's an Edward the Confessor penny, the Pax type, but this one's interesting because the Pax is spelled P-A-X-X instead of P-A-C-X, which is the usual. I've got a collector, Steve Green, who's going to change his flights to England so he can attend this sale from Darwin to bid on these coins. So I expect him to be active in the room. Give David me a run.
The first Edward the Confessor type, isn't it?
Yeah, the footnote says that Dolly suggests these coins being the very outset of the emission of this type. It's estimated at $900 and it comes from Major Carlin Britton's collection, R.C. Lockett's collection, E.P. Armitage's collection and the Norweb collection. It doesn't say that there's a Norweb envelope with it, we sometimes get those, which has got the spider web on it. The spider climbing up a web because of their name Norweb. Fascinating. There is a couple of coins with that.
I'll try and get the portrait.
There's a William the Conqueror penny here from Romney Mint, and the handwriting on the ticket is in Mr. Freehill's hand.
There it is, there's the portrait. Beard and all.
Is that 2755?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Harold II. Now, they found a lot of Harold II pennies. Prior to that, they're really rare, but they found quite a quantity recently. This is only estimated 2,500. It came from our sale 53. It's a York Mint one, so it's not a rare mint. But everybody wants a Harold II 1066 penny with the portrait and the word peace on it, P-A-X.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's arguing with his wife or a tenant. Can't trust these Greeks. Yelling and screaming out there. This is a William the Conqueror portrait penny, and as I say, it's lot 2757. It's got the ticket that Mark wrote it out at $900 when it was sold originally, and it was from sale 54. So I think it was John Wheatley that sold these coins in 54. Perth solicitor. Yeah, yeah. Still interested in coins. Might fly over for this, eh? Try and pick them all up again. He lives down in the Margaret River area. Retired, you know. Mr. Ratour.
That's right.
Ah, Ross, you've missed a lot. You better get back into it. 2760 is a William II penny. Now, Mark bought this from Dave Allen, I think. Oh, that's right. I think he handled a good old-time collection at one time, and this William II penny was one of them, and I thought, oh, you did well there, Mark. Great coin. Very hard to get William II pennies. Maybe he's actually talking to Greece, and they can't afford the coin. So it's a nice one. It's from Rochester Mint. Okay, we'll move on through all the Edward I and, you know, all those pennies. We get up to a denomination of a shilling of Henry VIII. This was bought from Barry Windsor at M.R. Roberts. Got the ticket there. So, lot
2880.
Yeah. I forgot to show you the World Gold, the Sotho set. I'll show you that later. Sorry, I skipped it accidentally. So I'm going to speed up now because we're all getting weary. This is a Edward VI crown, 1553. It was bought from Baldwin's. You see, Mark, like the tone coins, and they're not easy to see in these conditions, but in the flesh in the right light, they look really lovely. That's reasonably sharp. Yeah. And I'd be happy to pass them round, but I don't want you dropping the coins or something. You know, it's a good system, this. The Edward VI coins, he's got quite a few, Mark, a few of the early base shillings, and he's got, there's 3 crowns in there. One came from another vendor. Mark also had a very poor one. Someone must have given it to him, or he had it a long time ago when he first collected it. It's only estimated $80. I can't read the date, it's so worn, but it is an Edward VI silver crown.
$80?
Yeah. This is a Edward VI silver threepence, and very hard coin to get, well struck and clear, so it's exceptional. It's from La Riviere's collection, so he, again, a man who lived in Rhode Island, had a very beautiful English collection. So, one that's big handled.
That's quite nicely struck, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. It's a wonderful coin. Mark would have loved that. $2,000 we got on it. He must have paid a lot for it.
2901.
I want you to know that Colin catalogued all these. The reason, I would have loved to have done it, but I didn't have time. And the fact that they've been through our auction system and that, you can get the descriptions up to an extent.
Philip and Mary.
But he had to spend a lot of days on it. It's one of the best English collections he's catalogued. He's very excited about it. Well, it's up to world-class standard, isn't it, really? That's a Philip and Mary shilling, beautiful. That comes from Sale 54, previously from Spink, London. Elizabeth I, silver crown of 1601, quite sharp, quite a nice one. Elizabeth had a lot of hammered issues, different issues of coins they categorised. This is the 7th issue, the last issue of the hammered. But she also had milled coins which were struck in limited numbers, and we have a nice example of a shilling here, which was out of Sale 53 and was bought from Spink, London with their ticket. But I'm getting ahead of you, Rodney.
That's nice.
Is everybody happy looking at these coins, or do you want me to stop?
You must have played Mark well.
Well, he was very fortunate that he was a good judge and he decided to sell his Hong Kong banknotes in Sale 50. They raised a lot of money. I mean, it was incredible. And he obviously carefully bought a few coins soon after that. I don't know, I might find more hammered coins. I just had to get these out of the bank, but there might be more tucked away in a box here. We've had stuff here stored here since O'Connell Street days, really. It's a mini brand. This is the East India Company coinage. This is a 4 testerns, and this comes from Spink, London. Of the 46 known specimens, 15 are in museums and 31 are in private hands. Now, I can remember when Mark bought a set at Lawson's, 8, 4, 2 and 1 for £140 at Lawson's. But he traded that in with Douglas Lavelle, the Sphinx, when he came out pretty early in the piece, 1973, so I think he always wanted to get back because he collects British Commonwealth coins, or he collected British Commonwealth coins, and he ended up getting 2 of them. He's got the 2 testoons, which comes from the Colin Pitchfork collection. I thought I'd only show you one, save time. Another interesting coin is this one of Charles I from the period of the Civil War, minted in Oxford, a silver £half or 10 shillings. It's got the X on it above the legend for 10 shillings, but they call them £half. There were various mints scattered around England during the Civil War. Oxford was one of the prime ones. And then there were sieges of towns like Newark. So I've got some siege coins of Newark, 3 of them. I'm just going to show one.
You had a Pontefract too, didn't you?
Yeah, he's got this one of a half crown of Newark. Lot Q972. And it's from our Sale 54, and John Wheatley had it. He would have bought it from Barry Windsor. Not many of that. Oh yeah, of course. The next town that was under siege was Pontefract, and after Charles was beheaded, they still issued coins
including this one of Charles II, in the name of Charles II, 1648, was dated. And that again comes from the same sources. It came from Spink Auction 69 in 1989 and then through Barry Windsor. So that's a nice one, estimated at 6,000. Baldwins of St James have got an auction on about the same time as ours in London, would you believe, with magnificent siege coins in it, including one of these examples, and they've got £10,000 on it. So you know where you need to buy.
What's your estimate on it?
6,000. It's a lovely Commonwealth crown, 1656, bought from our sale 51. Mark didn't collect mill coins, so he did have a Cromwell shilling, which I'm going to show you, but from Neil Archer we got a very nice Cromwell crown and half crown, and the Cromwell crown shows a normal stage of the die break on the crown. That Cromwell crown's quite well struck. It's estimated at 4,000. The Cromwell crown of 1658 is beautifully toned. Oh, it's not my phone, is it?
No, it's me knocking this.
Okay. It is my phone.
Oh.
It's my phone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Oh, yes, there's the die crack across his neck. Oliver Cromwell.
Thinking I would be finished. I said no.
Almost.
Yeah, yeah, we're getting close. here's the half crown of Cromwell. What do you think of the crown? Did you like it?
Yeah.
I put it.
You could see that die break.
Well, Colin put the aggressive estimate of 10,000 on it. I suppose 10,000 is easy what it's worth. This is estimated at 6,000. You'd be mad not to buy these coins, wouldn't you? And buy Thomas Simon, the greatest engraver. What's wrong with you people? Old members of the society would have loved to have written these up in the old reports in 1918 and 1916 and all that.
They're videoing it.
Yeah, I know. The world's changed. Oh, I know. Tell me about it. There's computers and...
Yeah, but if I have have YouTube tomorrow,
Yeah, this whole world will see this.
yeah, everyone can see it and hear the stories.
I hope they understand what I'm saying.
Yes, it's never been cheaper.
You know, they've got a collection over there at the State Library, but they should be buying these. They don't want to collect coins, but they've got them. It's the trouble with museums. Mark loved museums, but I'm sort of annoyed with them. I thought, if we keep giving things to museums, there'll be nothing for collectors. It'll all be in museums.
And they never show them.
They can't afford to.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to look after a collection. What am I going to do with my New Zealand collection? That's been the bane of my life. 50,000 New Zealand pieces.
I don't want to get Colin the catalogue.
No, it's all we bring catalogue.
Well, part of it is. We're getting close. We've got all the photos done. It'll soon be in production. Trouble is Bob going overseas, Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan. I doubt if he'll come back.
We're going to say it for you for
He's not only going to those countries, but he's also camping out. In Sudan, be interesting.
You like, yeah, you like them. Risk taker.
That one there is the Charles II Mill shilling. That comes from our sale 60. Beautiful, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, hammered shilling. Now we get over to ancient gold coins. These come on the 11th session at 9:30 a.m. on the Thursday, so be ready for it. There's a lady out there in the street who's enjoying the quiet show, and let her enjoy it. It's good that she's doing it. This is a beautiful aureus of the Emperor Nero from Neil Archer. He bought it from Spink & Son in 1979, and that lovely colour on it is the Bosco Reale toning from a hoard that was found in the and it was something to do with the river, was it? Well, you better Google it and find out what the Bosco Reale thing is. Well, no, but yes, you need to be on the phone. It's Andy keeping fit. He's got a lot of phone bidders. He's had the weekend off. He's relaxed and fit now.
It's only the one occasion.
This is the aureus of Antonius Pius, also from Neil Archer. He bought this from I.S. Wright in 1989. I wonder if Stuart will buy it back. There's a game, Bob. Now, once we pass those few ancient gold coins, well, there's quite a few of them, they're quite nice, we get into an interesting area, ancient Greek silver, and for the first time in history for us, we've got 3 silver decadrams of Syracuse. I mean, it's rare enough to have one, but we've got 3 of them. The first one, this one belonged to James Timothy Gleeson, who was an artist, a surrealist painter, and served on the board of the National Gallery of Australia. So he had that suspended in some sort of ring mount which was selling with it. So it has been mounted in a fashion. We couldn't get the dies to actually match up with the known dies in combination, so we just think, well, there must have been a huge coinage. There must have been many, many dies made for these coins. We've got all the references, studied it, it's absolutely the right weight, so I'm waiting for some expert to condemn it.
Jim, speaking of museums, in the Archaeological Museum in Syracuse, glass case just about everywhere.
Yeah.
At least 30 or 40.
Yeah, I once looked at the ones in the British Museum and they had more. They had a great lot. This one here is bought from an antique dealer in Melbourne, and it's got the little star symbol behind Arethusa's neck underneath the dolphin. These two are estimated 15,000 each. Where's the other one? Oh, here. The last one is estimated at 6,000 because it's more worn. It's quite worn, but it's a known species, and it was originally sold by Adolf Kahn in 1932, where it was illustrated.
A big coin dealer
In Frankfurt. So it's a pedigreed piece. So if you can't afford the 15,000, here's one for 6,000. So 3 decadrams of Syracuse. I don't think I'll ever do that again here, unless I get very lucky. I didn't want to show too many ancient coins because I knew we'd be getting on, but I've got this Roman coin which comes from Neil Archer's collection, lot 3. It's off Tiberius, but I just think it's a fascinating design.
Very famous type.
3200.
Yeah, it's the little portrait of Augustus No, it's facing bust of Tiberius, the centre of the wreath column. He bought it from Laurie Nugent in 1978 near Larcher. It's estimated at 400. Something that we can afford at last. Another one that's interesting from Neil Archer's collection is this one from George Muller at Spinks. Charged him £2,850 for this one in 1981. Vitilius metallic flan Cistercius. Very nice condition. Really choice ones of these bring 20,000 plus. So it's in at $3,000, so what an opportunity.
We all know Dylan Parker, he had one about early this year. It sold at the Goldberg. He got the 23,000 for one. A bit better. Bit of a surprise for him, because that made him make a pop.
There's a gold coin I failed to show you, which I got out, but it's in a slab. It's a Nero Claudius Drusus gold aureus, and it's estimated at $10,000. He was the father of Claudius, who died in 9 BC. So it's a very early piece. A set of coins I failed to show you. We're going to finish it in one.
What about grinder?
It's right
That
on
one
mine now.
was graded by NGC as Choice VF.
Sorry, Tim, I'll have to go.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, you did say, David. Yeah, great. I've seen nearly all the coins. Yeah, okay. Good, Pat.
So long.
There's the set of Lesotho, and that's they're loose, the coins, Rodney. They're the gold content of this set, I think, is 3 point something ounces of gold.
What are you on there?
Lot 1764. It's just one that I...
Selling, you know.
No, it's just one that I missed. It occupies a whole column. 4.355 ounces of actual gold weight. So there you go. So what a piece, what a set. And that was put out for the FAO campaign in 1969, an international United Nations type thing. The denomination for the biggest coin is 20 melotti. It starts with a 1 and a 2. You like that, Rodney?
Not really.
A lot of gold.
I prefer the English gold.
Yes, of course. But I think it's the first set of that I've had. I mean, that's the sort of thing that Max Stern could afford to have years ago. Now, the paper that I've got here, money, we'll finish it. I only wanted to show you a couple. I've got a couple of hay notes. And what's interesting about them is there's a 6pence and a 2 shillings, and they each have their prefix for the denomination, but they each have the same serial number, a matched serial number. Now, how could that be? Well, I got them from a man who lives in the US. He's obviously very old, and he's obviously a De Niro boy. And sent them out to me. Some of these guys are nearly 90 now. They're still alive.
3962.
So it's the first time I've ever noticed that. Matching serial number. Well, it'd be unique. He must have purposely sought out the same number. But I didn't get a shilling from him. I hope he hasn't hung on to that one. Well, there is a shilling in the sale from someone else in lovely condition. And this is another interesting piece. Oh, this is the coin I haven't shown yet, and David's gone, but he saw it anyway. This is a £5 note of 1954 Queen Elizabeth, but the difference is it's serial number 37. It's a very low number, and it's a specimen. So the bank issued that as a specimen to some important person or place or institution. It's estimated 15,000.
3-pin strong room.
Now this coin I'm showing is lot This is the last one we're looking at, 1934. David Lee's already looked at it. I said, you'd need to buy this and all that, but I said, it'll cost more. He told me all about the girl. She was married 4 times, Joanne, but she was on the wrong side of the Pope at one stage. But this coin is a French coin of the county of Provence, Jean of Naples and Louis of Taranto. And we've checked the references and we cannot find it anywhere. It's unknown, having the 2 rulers together on the obverse. It's just an unknown type, and I find it incredible. But the man who gave it to me, he's Belgian background, he's in his early 80s. He acquired it from a private collection in France through his grandfather. So, you know, maybe it's something that people have overlooked. It's from 1347 to 1362, 2.8 grams. And it's on a large card because there's a lot of descriptive stuff there with it, plus a photo. So for $500,
Any issue of that type that has the 2 rulers.
yeah, you can buy a coin for $500 in our auction, or the estimate's 500, which is unpublished as a type. What are you going to do about it?
Leave it for David.
Oh, okay. You're very kind. But I want a genuine auction. I want you to bid against him.
I'm saving up for your English tin.
Okay. Anyway, thank you guys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So is there any questions other than what we've already asked, Jim, about the auction?
Oh, by the way, for you Labourites, that's in the auction. The man who bought that's name's Ken Murray. He's Mr. Ramwick, who runs the Labour Cup. He bought that in the charity auction for $5,000, signed by Whitlam, Hawke, Keating, the other 3 primaries, and King Beasley, who's a coin collector, and he's from Western Australia. And Bob Carr got on the act and signed the bloody bottom of the frame.
No, that's
So-
sad.
So it's for $500 or less, whatever you want, in the auction. It's a case of the man just wants to get rid of things his children are interested in. He wants to do accession. He was buying a lot of Perth mint things. So
It hasn't been good at this.
I think he just bought it for fun.
Jim, thank you very much for the very descriptive talk on what the auction's going to be like in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes well, but here's a certificate of appreciation for, again, for the
Thank you so much.
good talk.
Thank you. Yes, I'll add this to the collection.
When I was making the certificate, I pulled up the one I copied it from, and it was to Jim Noble on the 12th of November 2018.
Oh,
So I just had to change the date.
oh good. Yeah, excellent. Very nice. Pleasure to do it.
Right then, well, we'll
Time for a cuppa.
we'll finish up the meeting and we'll have their
Kettle boiled,
coffees,
Cole?
stuff
Yep,
like
it
that.
should be boiled now. Where's Tony Law?